Ben from Radio Parts, obviously, for those of you who know me well. Thanks for coming along this morning to learn more about Presco Access Control and everything related to it. I'll hand it over to Brian, who's got a long history with Radio Parts and with
NIDAC.
Yes, with NIDAC as well, and Heath as well. They're going to be your experts today to talk you through what's new and different and what Presco does better. As far as access control goes, it's such a huge and growing industry, everything from basic PIN codes to biometric locks and facial recognition and everything more that happens with it. There's so many businesses, homes, industry, schools and more that needs this sort of control now, that understanding it's a huge part of what we do and what we should be selling every time we look at intercoms and look at security systems and even just a basic door strike. What are they doing with it? How are they using it and where is it supposed to go? So I'd like to hand over to the experts, and any questions and the rest I'm sure they'll be happy to answer as we go through, and have fun. Thank you.
We can have questions as I go, and we'll have a session just after it on that dedicated to questions, see how we go on that. Okay, next, moving forward. Firstly, introduce our history 50 years ago. Why NIDAC Presco? We're Australia-wide. We have distribution in all capital cities, and 50-year history, Australian-owned. Original owner, designer David Nichols is still involved with the company and lives on the premises. Our products are Australian designed. We have a designer, in-house designer, and generally manufactured in Australia. It's a fact we're pretty proud of, actually, because it's pretty hard to make product here in Australia and be competitive, and we feel we're competitive as anybody out there. So some of the product, like metal keypad, and there's a couple of other things which we have to get made overseas, but generally our boards are all done locally, so we have them mass produced. All Presco NIDAC products are tested prior delivery, so we have a computer system, so every product is run through the computer for its compliance. That's why you're rest assured when you get one of our products, it will work. If it doesn't, look for somebody else, because it's very rare. We do pre and post support, so anybody wants to buy it, whether you buy it for Radio Parts or anywhere, you can contact us. If it's one of our products, we will give you the utmost attention and resolve it one way or another. We'll start with access control boards and the like. So, our products which we've had going for a number of years, Pack 1, Pack 2, they'll be out there, you'd see them everywhere. This will do the Pack 1 does one door, Pack 2 two doors. They're a split security system. Does anybody know what we mean by that? Sorry. Split security system? What that means, I'll explain it. It's because the pack has a keypad attached to it, like so. If anybody tried to rip that off the wall and gain access, they can't, because it's only data flowing into that product. So standalone keypads you can do that with, because it's 12 volt at the point. This one, the voltage is here. This is usually hidden inside the building somewhere, and this part's outside, whether it be plastic or metal. So we call it split. It's for commercial applications. Domestic applications, not as important, because you may not need to do that. So that's where the split, that's what we hang our hat on.
One do that as well?
The which one?
The data logger.
Data logger, which with these, we'll get into that in a few more slides. I'll explain all that, yep. So easy on-site programming with keypad installed. You see the installation side down there, the AC/DC. One power supply can drive the lock, the voltage to the lock. Door open too long is one of the features, which if you can time that, it's fully timeable. Anybody holds the door open too long for a set amount of time, apart from that, after that time, it will buzz. It'll send a warning that the door's open. Automatic relock function in momentary lock mode. means that the default is 10 seconds. And you can make it, it's normally open, you can make it normally closed for mag locks, because mag locks you've got to take power off. So it's all adjustable. Pack 2 is programmed from one keypad. You only have to do one side, so you need a keypad for that. And installation and user manuals supplied. So there's 2 manuals, one for the user and one for the installer. So he can come back and he might put some notes and stuff like that if he ever has to go back to that site. Okay, moving on. Heath? Yep. Okay, we go into the event logger. What that does, the pack controllers get wired to the controller you'll see on the right hand side there. You can have up to 16 doors. So multiple amounts of pack 1s or pack 2s intermixed with a maximum number of user locations, 800. It will store names. The main gist of this is that if you've got a pack controller and it's a commercial installation, you might have 100, 150 people coming and going with codes. Well, if one of those people leaves the company, and they might not leave on good terms, they want to delete them. If they haven't kept manual records, who is it? They don't know where they are in the system. With this, you can interrogate the pack and find out where they are and add the user's name against the location. So you have a location and you have a user code, which is location is 3 digits, user code is usually 4 digits. So that's how it's all connected there. Back to a PC.
It is also worth noting with the PAL that you can use it for programming. You'll see a lot of the installers using this when they've got a site that wants ordered Presco data numbers. So that's the actual user ID. So when an order, you can do programming on a computer if you have one. But all their products account for people who don't want to carry around a laptop for every installation. This is for unifying your network, so when you're dealing with multiple access control entryways that you're using a split system for, hence why it accounts for computers for programming. As you can see, it's best used for warehouses, factories, small office complexes, apartments and entryways. So you can sort of get the idea of the scale of what the PAL's for.
It's not a time and attendance product, it's purely a data logger. So you can keep track of people's times they've come in and gone out, but you can't lock them out and you can't lock the premises up automatically from this product. It's purely that. Yeah, it's purely a logger. Okay, this is a relatively new range of keypads. The old range was called a Pre. You probably come across that. It's numerous. Kindergartens, nursing homes, whatever. This has been designed, modern design, with two LED indicators on it. When you put a valid code in, the indicator will change colour and indicate that it's a valid code. If it's not a valid code, it will beep and tell you, no, wrong, can't get in, buddy. So it's a GPO mounting, so we'll go onto a normal electrical GPO, so you can mount it like that if you want to mount it off the wall, put the wires behind it. Connects to, directly connected to pack 1, pack 2. Audio visual confirmation, as I was saying, that will beep and change colour. Visually impaired raised buttons, so people, they look for the button 5 and then they work out the codes from that. So that's been incorporated. You can use it as a 2-wire, so you've only got 2 wires. A lot of intercoms being wired, if you're replacing an intercom, might only be 2 wires. You can do that, but you won't have the visual indication. There's no LED. So it's generally a 3-wire wire, this one. With Presco, you can go up to 1 kilometre. Now that's a massive amount of wiring, and that, if it's a big building for a commercial, it could be somewhere near that, I guess, in some instances. So it's a very neat, very modern. So we've updated that recently. In the same family, we've got the PSR 16, which is the same footprint as this, but reader only, indoor. It will it supports cards, tags, compatible, same recognition, audio visual with colour change. Presco up to 1 kilometre. It basically does the same, but it's purely for badging. To use this product, initially you would need this as well for programming. So this gets connected into the pack controllers, and you do your programming for this and then disconnect it. So if anybody wanted to add any users or cards or tags, you would need to have a keypad. Either you come back with one or you leave one installed for them to do their own adding in. The PSC16 combination is the same thing again, but this one has keypad and reader in one. So you can have the choice. You can use both card and code. It does all the same operation as the previous keypads. And it's got the reader in there. Yeah.
Is that using DC power?
DC power, and it doesn't need to be shielded. Any cable, up to 1K. It's pretty incredible. I'll talk about the WeGAN relationship in a minute as we go, about Presco and WeGAN, so we'll get into that. But these ones are perfect for, as a combination, press or reader badged, suitable in support environments at nursing homes. So in a nursing home, maybe the nurses will just badge, and any people coming as visitors can have a keypad. Use the key. That's sort of how it can work. Combination keypad reader is perfect for utilising staff codes as well as fobs, cards, access rooms, apartments, facilities of any kind. Okay, this is generally how the configuration goes. You have your PEL, which is data logger, goes into there where it says DL, D-log and ground, and all your other side there, your right-hand side, gets connected directly into the PEL, or your controllers. And if you want to do programming, you'll add a keypad in there as well. All our products, past and present, has the same code, wire colour coding. So it's primarily 4 colours, red, black, white and blue. So we've used that before and we'll keep using that. So if you want to put a new product in that, same wiring code. So with this, it supports egress, of course, and remote control. Now you could have egress and remote control. If you've got a remote control receiver transmitter, you can make this product into a remote control option.
Basically, anything that has a contact relay output will work as an egress control. You could have a GSM module on a boom gate, relay output trigger, straight into egress, boom gate comes up. You could have little remotes, exit button. It all works, and the gist of it is that it will hook into the two-stage access control system, which is the only secure solution when you're talking about critical access control. So basically the pack will work with any already present output mechanisms on site, any control mechanisms.
Okay, now we come into, it's called a PTKR. Now this is a newish reader. This is one, we sourced the plastics overseas. It was a product that's already on the market. We put our electronics in it. The beauty with this product, it's surface mount, plus it's indoor-outdoor. It's not vandal, we don't propose that, but it can take water, and it's touch control or badge. So it's reader and keypad. So there again, it can be used with the pack 1 and 2, same distance. confirmation, changes colour from red to green when the valid code goes in. So that'll go red, that'll go green across the top there, and it works fine. That's a beauty, this one. With the 2410, which is a reader only, it's the same type of thing. It's a surface mount, wires directly to a pack 1 or 2, outputs Presco or Wiegand. Connection is the same. With Wiegand, you have to use shielded cable, and it's up to 100 metres. So you can see where Presco can be very useful if you've got long runs. There is no issue at all. It changes the LEDs red, and when on a valid badge, it will turn green. As I said, it's surface mount. It's quite a small product, fits in with everything.
Obviously the picture's not to scale,
Yeah.
but it is a slim form factor.
Yep. So common applications, basically the 2410 is a slim size reader, easy to mount. The PTKR attractive design blends in with modern surroundings. It'll suit any modern facilities, suitable for bollards, fences, gates, doors, pool gates, etc. Okay, now we do a lot of product in cards. We do prox cards and tags. The card on the left-hand side can be hung around the neck for nurses. They commonly lose that. They prefer to use that because they're in and out of doors all the time in a hospital ward, and that a lot of them only gain access through that. Our other tags can be more domestic, so to speak. This is a new product called a wristband and watch band. So I've got one here at the moment. So in a situation where you're in and out of doors all the time, and you've got to go like that, this one you just badge it like that. It's read-write, so we can program them in sequenced and with a preferred site code. So we can do all that. All waterproof, good read range. There's two types. There's one with a lock on there. The other one is just slide over your wrist there. So disability centres, aged care, where they've got to have security doors and they're locked all the time. These are perfect for that. And they're well priced too. We're going to heavy metal outdoor keypads now. Now these keypads are the same as the plastic ones as far as the way they operate and hook into the pack controllers. They all go back to the pack controllers. Two sizes, 4x3 or 6x2. So you've got a gate size there. Backlit, surface mount, IP67 rated. So they will take all sorts of weather. Backlit. This one these output Presco and or Wiegand. So you can program that to do Wiegand because Wiegand is industry standard and there's a lot of Wiegand out there and our products can work with them. In fact, Bosch were buying all the metalwork for all their alarm panels for a long time office for using that because they're such a heavy duty metal and really solid construction. LED visual indicators again, you've got a red and a green, so the colour changes and they sort of helps you with programming too because you get visual indicators when you're programming it. If it's correct, the LEDs will change colour.
I think it's really important, again, just restate exactly how durable these keypads are. I'm going to use the words of Dr. Locke from the Dr. Locke Group in Sydney. Quoted the VR43 as being the sturdiest keypad around. And he's a bloke on the ground who deals with locking supplies and access control all day, every day. His words, worth more than gold in that regard. I've seen repair jobs, people have tried to get these things every which way. I mean, one came in a little while ago. Someone had attacked at the back of a nightclub with a crowbar, tried to prise the fascia off from the front by splitting underneath the middle, trying to get through to the keypad. All they succeeded in doing is bashing in part of the underneath metalwork. Absolutely no success on the criminal's part. It was sent back to us as a repair, and it was repaired successfully and sent back to the customer. This is the level of durability we're talking about, and it's something we pride ourselves on. Stuff that just works.
We also call it vandal resistant, not vandal proof, because there's no such thing as vandal proof. You smash that off the wall with a sledgehammer, so it depends on how well it's been mounted onto the wall, but the actual metalwork will hold up no matter what. Okay, this one's been with us for a long time. We were going to drop it when we brought the VR series in, but we've got a couple of really big customers that still like this product because they use it as a keypad integrated with a phone or some of the alarm panels out there, and and it's because it's a flush mount. Very attractive, and will mount in with a stainless steel plate. So they buy them and they mount them in, and they use it in conjunction with other alarm panels and stuff like that. So there's lots of applications for that. It's purely Presco, because our other keypads will do two formats. This one is purely a Presco, and we call it a rugged because it's very, very strong. It has been quite expensive. It's a bit more expensive than the previous one slides, but we've just actually lowered the price slightly. And the reason it's so expensive is it's made in France.
Yeah, the metalwork is made in France. Still cheaper than the iPhone access control, mind you. Better for a comparison. We have a lot of customers that use it with flush mount plating around it and alongside an intercom. So yeah, your GT, your JK series stuff, it is actually still a cheap alternative to that. And it's two-stage. So again, you don't have the issue of having a standalone access control module, which can be abused by people seeking to gain access.
It's also can be two-wire without backlighting. So limited number of wires is important.
It's absolutely critical when dealing with intercoms. You know, sometimes they say, hey, I've got 6 wires, give me an audio-video intercom system, and give me access control, latch control, and you've got to make it work somehow in a 60-year-old building without electrocuting yourself.
And the VR series, are those also 2 and 4 wire?
No, those are 3 or 4 wire, depending on if you want LED.
Yeah. Okay, applications. We'll go over this a fair bit because there's only so many applications out there, but Pedestrian, Boomgate, standard bollards, sort of most of this is driven from the pack controllers anyway, where you use them, but it's just to go over where they can be used. It's basically high traffic areas because the keypad is so rugged and can be used so many times without damaging the key, because that's a very important part too. You're using code after code after code, eventually something's got to give. The plastic ones will eventually cave in. These ones have got a terrific keypad in it. There's terrific buttons, the way they're done. It can be utilised as a WGAN with another component, which we'll talk about shortly. And it's semi-recessed, so you need to cut a bigger hole. It's not flush. It's not surface mount, but it's very attractive still. Okay, standalone. This is our standalone range, which is just got a sample of one here. It's the same metalwork as the VR. This is the VST.
Here you go. Feel it. Judge the weight for yourself.
It comes in 2 varieties: 4x3, 6x2, surface mount. Doesn't sit that much off the wall, which is very, very good, very well designed. IP67, vandal resistant. Up to 500 users. You could try it. I'll go and get a hammer. 3 level code, so you can actually do a bit of extra security on this. You can have it. We had an instance where you've got a preschool where there's a administrator code, and you can put in subcodes who have limited access. So administrator code overrides a whole lot, but if you've got cleaners coming in at the weekend, they can access the building with the administrator's approval, of course, and then the administrator, once he puts his code in, he locks out everybody. So during the day, your people that have got kids at the school or what, they can come and go with their code, and then they've got the limited amount of access. And then you've got your other ones. Plus it's got built-in optical tamper, so if anybody did rip it off the wall, it will buzz, it will indicate. I mean, you have to be close to it to hear it, of course. So it's, I mean, it might scare somebody that's really not professional in that. Otherwise, if you're a long way from the front of the building, it's got minimal impact. 2 relays, so you can run 2 doors on there as well. This is another product. This is not our homegrown product, our access control. We import these because they're very cost effective. There's a lot of product you've probably seen. A lot of people do this. We get a very good deal from overseas on this, and it works well. I wouldn't say it's going to last like the Presco products will, because our design work that goes into that and longevity we've put into it, but they fit a part of the market. They are keypad with backlighting, plus fob. You can actually use a fob access as well. 2 relays, you can time your opening and closing, weather resistant, vandal resistant, so it covers the spot, and it's at a price. So 12 or 24. 12 volts.
Yeah, the particular, how much of an amp?
1 amp, 1 to 1.5. Usually power supplies that we don't carry anything, at least because of the price these days, anything below 1.5 amp. So all our product we're talking about, 1.5 amp is tons, because a standard strike is about 300, 400 milliamps. A mag lock can be up to 1 amp, depending on how big it is. And then our pack controllers, probably 120 milliamps, something like that. So, I mean, with the price of power supplies these days, 1.5 amp is the minimum, and that'll cover everything. So you get no problems.
It's why the 1.5 amp was included in the diagram. We showed you what the sort of network would look like, and that was including controlling the mag lock. 1.5 less, so about an amp, probably not enough for a mag lock, egress, and a heavy metal keypad. You want 1.5, and that will suit you forever.
One thing just going on the mag lock, it's important that battery backup can be an important part of mag lock. It depends on the building. If it's a nursing home, something like that, if they cut power, doors got to be open, then you wouldn't do battery backup. So because the doors will have to be open once the power's cut. But generally in commercial businesses, battery backup's important, and we do housings and batteries and that for that.
Can the tamper circuit be wired back into an alarm system?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yep. So this is some of the applications, the standalone pool gate. We've sort of covered most of it anyway. There's only so many things you can cover, but that's basically will do. But whatever's out there, it can control. Yeah.
Gist of it is, you will note that we don't mention domestic entrances, any kind of critical access area in this, because it is standalone, 2-stage. And the 2-stage system, that is the only thing that you can really call secure, especially with how easy it is to really abuse the exploit of a standalone system. 2-stage or nothing for critical entrances.
Okay, we come to another product which we don't actually design here. It's made in Israel. We're distributing it. It's called Omgate, and it's Bluetooth, up to 20 metres. Relay output, gate release with normally open only. That can be addressed and made it to normally close as well with using another one of our products, which we'll address shortly. Free iPhone, Android app for programming and control, so it's all done through your phone. The new software, which is just being released, they've just updated the software, is now time and attendance. So you can lock people out or in at certain times, and your kids come home late, you can leave them outside because they can't get in.
To extend the distance?
No, not Bluetooth, can't you? You couldn't, not.
You could, well, not officially. If you want to experiment,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
But officially endorsed is no more than 20 metres. There are GSM solutions available, and much like using a remote control, you can wireless into the egress control of a pack unit.
And make it remote. Yeah. So that'll be when you come up to the door with your phone.
It's most people with driving cars.
Yeah, well, you got your phone in. All you have to hit is the app, and the door will open. So, and then later on you can check times, and it's all history is there on the phone or the PC. Up to 10 users on that as well. Yep.
Fix the factory reset problem with that?
Sorry?
The factory reset.
Factory reset. What happens when you buy an Omgate, you register it, or the user, the installer registers it. It becomes his product.
Yeah, it's locked, isn't it?
Yeah. If you have a faulty one or something like that, it can be an issue because you've got to go back to the manufacturer's base. But we've been swapping them over if it's been genuine. Just swap them over, and that's the way they do that. They reckon that's the only way they can control the security side of it. So
It's locked or regular phone number.
yeah,
Security.
it can be good for the installer because it's his. If your customer has a problem later, they've got to get you. You know, so that's good of it. But yeah, a lot of things like that. DVRs can be like that too. You got to get a code from overseas. They won't give you an unlock code if you've forgotten your password, which is a hassle if you haven't got a good relationship.
Luckily enough, NIDAC does maintain very good relationships with our distributors of these products, so we've got a tight working bond with the tech crew over there.
Yeah.
And so we're usually able to sort out those problems.
We've not had a problem. If there's been any faulty ones, we haven't had a problem swapping them over, but it means you've got to go back and reprogram it. So it can be a hassle for you guys. But the reliability has been very good. The software's just been upgraded, which is great. And I think it's getting better all the time, the product, reliability.
It's a domestic product, because customer-facing UI is excellent. It's really aimed at that domestic family market. They want a little bit of control over their own gate access, but it's not a commercial product.
Yep. We'll go into some auxiliary products now we manufacture. Okay. Firstly, the CT1 timer. Okay, it's a timer. You can do lots of things with it through the dip switches. You can delay openings. You can leave it relay open for X amount of time. You've got 14 operating modes. Dip switch, as I said, selections, AC, DC. Where a common application for this could be, particularly if you've got an intercom, the front door, and you've got another door, and you're coming from the front door, it might be a gate, and there's a long walk from the gate to the front door, it's your house, and that door's locked. You've either got to have another 2 intercoms, or you put the timer in and have it that it will stay open for another minute and a half or how long it's going to take you to get to the other door, or vice versa. Lock, whatever you want to do, you can do with this product. So it's very versatile on that. So we do that, and then we do just a relay, which is can be bought individually or in a six-pack with a common earth. So you just snap them off. If you're using multiples, it's cost effective to buy them as a six-pack. Excuse me. 2 amp rating, 2 pole, 2 throws. Normally open, normally close, and LED indicators. As I said, we sell thousands of these a year, and we just where they go, I don't know. But one customer of ours, they buy 40 a month. Yeah, and they put them in. They're a company that do intercoms. I think they use them as
Use it for isolating.
Isolating, yeah. So that's some of the applications. Single shot, time opening doors, delay between doors, 2 doors, dip switch timing. hold door open, controlling electric strokes. So it's got a lot of application. The relay, there's not much you can really say on that. It's a relay, but it's quite strong.
Are there any plans to make a version of the CT1 that can handle mains voltage?
I wouldn't think so. We're not really into mains voltages, are we, in design?
We won't deal with 240 volt systems most of the time.
No.
The majority of these, so again, because the Presco brand is about access control, the majority of these are for 12, 24 volt systems.
Yep.
And it's for use really with just kind of fiddling around with niche scenarios in which you need access control to do something non-specific. So we've got some components to assist in really suiting those custom scenarios, not so much for dealing with mains supply systems. But I do know some customers who will use them anyway and will just get converters to them.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah.
Bring it down to the right voltage, but yeah.
This is a product we've had for a long time now called PIM, Presco Interface Module. It's for converting formats from Presco to RS-232, clock and data, WGAN, practically anything can be done with it. 12 volt operation. It can interrogate a PAC controller. So if you didn't have a PL, you could connect with the software. The software is on our database. Anybody wants to look at our software on Presco, go to Presco data website, and all this is there. The software is there for this, and you can retrieve. You'd be able to see if somebody's left. You've got a lot of users, and somebody's left. You would be able to interrogate it and find out who it is, and delete them through that.
Memory code or by PIN code for use codes.
Yep. So it's we'll talk a little bit more about this. So it's a very unique product. They're a very clever design. It works converting all the formats, back up an existing data directly from the PAC, bulk download database into PAC controllers in remote locational sites. So and you can. This is where you can increase WGAN using this product.
So there's some go into more detail about that exact relationship. So as I mentioned earlier, WGAN has a limited distance. We say, they say 100 metres. In reality, that turns out to be 75 to 80 metres most of the time, and it has to be shielded cable. Presco, no such restriction. You can use unshielded cable. You can go up to a kilometre. It just works. That's the point. It's a very discrete data format. Now, a lot of people use WGAN modules, readers, or access control boards. And the other issue with WGAN happens to be that it is vulnerable to interference along certain lines. One of those circumstances happens to be elevators. So say you've got a WGAN output reader, an elevator, and you've got a lot of data interference along the line to your access control board. Well, our customers have actually, and we didn't realise this until we started talking to them about where they were using the PIM, they've been using the PIM at the beginning and end runs of the elevator. Converting WGAN into Presco, or converting whatever format into Presco format, and then converting it back out of Presco format at the other end by the control board, in order to nullify the possibility of any interference and to extend the data run above that 100 metre limit, because oftentimes it's got to go all the way up the elevator shaft and to the mains cabinet board. So in those circumstances, it's an incredibly useful tool. The ability to interrogate our access control boards, convert our data format to others and other data formats to ours, means that you can use it to stabilize your comms, which is critical. Data comms being successful is a critical aspect of access control, because if your data comms is interference, then nobody's going to be able to badge in. They're locked out in the building and they call you up very angrily. This is one of those keys making every job a success.
You generally wouldn't leave that with your client either. You keep it, you use it, you keep it in your kit, and you use it over and over again. You don't have to leave it with them. So it's something, it will help you to get in callback, to get more business, basically. This is a new product we're just about to release. We actually released, we've got it ready finally. It's taken a long time, but it's ready to be released Monday. It's a GSM Dialler with voice and SMS auto dialer. 1224 volts, 8 inputs, outputs voice and SMS message. It's the only one on the market that can do that. 2 relay outputs, up to 99 numbers, compatible with all Australian 3G providers. It will go to 4G next year. All programming except voice is done by SMS commands or USB PC. It's we used to have the DT6 dialer. This has been updated digital now, as the analogue is basically finished, and it's going to fit in for the commercial market, not domestic, because it's priced. It's going to be too high generally. There are cheaper units that will do sort of just one-to-one sort of for domestic, but this one is aimed for the commercial market on the new network, NBN network. Just we'll go to the next slide. If you want to take over.
Yeah, I'll take over for this. So the key thing about the dialer is it works on the law of universality. It works on contact relays. It has customizable messages for SMS and programmable voice messages via calling. And essentially, it works by having any sort of sensor, measurement tool, or analysis device hooked up to it. That means alarm systems, thermostats, the lot. And upon receiving input, it sends out SMS, followed by voice messages 30 seconds later. It's an alarming and monitoring tool. It also has the capacity to remote activate via the SPDT output relays. So with a 1 amp rail 30 volt output, this means you can remotely activate other devices and monitor that device's activation via the circuit, essentially meaning that you can maintain and monitor an isolated system. Let's say you've got like a camera far out on a farm, right? Customers know when it's on, customers will be alerted when the camera turns off or is deactivated for some reason. Hook up a dialer to the camera, both dialer and camera work over a 3-4G network. All of a sudden, your customer knows from wherever he happens to be in the world when his camera's gone offline. The break in the circuit will activate the input and will send out a SMS followed by voice. Same sort of deal, water levels, refrigeration, pressure monitoring. It is a critical tool for all sorts of industrial and commercial applications. And even though it's not really a domestic door alarming tool, because as Brian mentioned, there are more cost-effective solutions, for certain applications, such as monitoring, we had one customer actually who was going to use one for monitoring when their home swaps from main supply to a solar battery supply. So they want to be notified when their power grid was turned off and their battery turned on, so they knew when they were off the grid and using their own supply. So they're going to be using a dialer for that particular application by having the solar output activate the dialer, and of course all messages for each input can be customized. So you can have multiple inputs monitoring multiple things and have different numbers being SMS'd and called for each particular alert. And, yes?
Ongoing costs, is it? Do you have to have a SIM card?
Yeah.
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 Pay for a monthly?
Yep.
You will have to have a SIM card because it is data and voice. If it was just data, we actually were looking at suppliers for data M2M SIM cards. Unfortunately, because it's data and voice, it has to be a regular prepaid SIM card. It is not heavy on data, so honestly, a $20 prepaid card should last you a year, unless you're having constant notifications, in which case you've got better things to be worried about.
Also, there's 2 versions of it. One's with power supply and one without. There's a smaller, comes in a smaller box without battery, and then we have a bigger case with battery backup. So there's 2 versions of it available.
That's about it. Thank you.
And that's it. That's our presentation. And yeah, more questions?
What are the output options for the PEL data logger? What are your output?
Well, the data logger is basically the control. The packs still do all that.
Right, but what do you want to get a readout, for instance, or you want a hard copy or?
USB to computer.
Yep.
So that's how it works. And from your computer, you can print, you can store the database, you can email it. It's a CSV format database.
Yep.
So Excel will open it up, and from there it goes anywhere. The gist of it is, The PEL acts as a unifying device, unifying the databases from every PAC controller, allowing you to program it, to mess with it, to customize the user IDs to names, and then to export it via computer link, which means that you have that ability to really see into it.
And because you're adding a lot of packs, each pack has so many users, it doesn't add more. It still has a maximum.
Still total of 800.
Yep.
You mentioned you can just use a USB stick when you get a live stream via USB cable.
It's USB cable to computer.
USB cable to computer.
Yeah, not USB stick unless you've got one of those new mini computers that's on a stick.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And what's the format of the data?
CSV.
CSV.
That's the format of the database. Any more burning questions?
Those dialers, are they, you hook them up to your laptop and
Yeah.
computer and then you've got
Yep.
software to then...
Yeah, so the data logger software allows you to program and to look into it and do admin. So we have a couple of installers that actually use them when they're going to live. So here's a actually really good use of it. We have one installer who was heading to an apartment block. This is in Queensland. And it was a really hot day. He was going, I'm going to have to program them in on every pack because they had 2 pack 2s, 4 gates, and then a pack 1 on the main entrance. And instead of that, he brought a PEL along and a laptop and just used the unified database of the PEL to program the entire database into each pack. So you only need to program one device and then just copy paste.
From freezers to allow customers to be notified whether the temperature drops. So
Oh, he's talking about the GSM.
freezers that give out notification of any
On the GSM.
Yeah, so that would happen. So yeah, any sort of thermostat with an output, you just set that to activate, and it'll shoot right off to the dialer. And you can send, so on the dialer, you can customize the message to say freezer level alert room 1.
Regarding the CSV data,
Yeah.
is it read via a software you guys provide, or can
Yeah.
it be accessed via some
Okay,
type of open source device?
2 sides to that. First of all, we do supply free software to allow you to open and edit the data. That is proprietary, free of charge, access it. You can export it from that data, from that program in CSV format. And then from there you can use any third-party tool to manipulate as you see fit. I know we have a couple of people who use Excel to automatically program in series user IDs to really just get hammer home the point of easy programming and easy setup.
Yeah. So I was thinking if you wanted to display the information on an app or a website, is that something that can be done? Like, can you get your software to push the data live as it receives it?
That would have to be done through an API and a third-party program, and so that'd be something that we'd have to organise with the group doing the live streaming of it, or the actual live transmission of the data. We do not actually have an inbuilt ability for it to be transmitted out of the program aside from through raw file export, simply because if you build a door frame but don't put a door in there, then everybody's going to be able to see into your house.
Yeah.
We didn't see use for it at the beginning, and so we just considered it as a bit of a security exception, so we didn't assign for that need immediately.
Yeah. Is there an API?
That would have to be developed at the time.
Okay.
I know we have the tools for it, and our engineer who's designed nearly every single one of our products has been consistent across all the design elements. So we do have all the code available to do such.
We're looking to. He's come up with some ideas for the pack to go more web.
We
interface.
have at the moment in design stage IP controller, similar to your Kanto 4 doors or your CS control board. Everybody knows that? Yeah, CS Technologies. Yeah, wrapping them a little bit. But yeah, so a little bit more online to that. 4-door board, IP control via the network. Cat5 cable.
Obviously, that's the future. Like with a.
So watch this space.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Someone's not quite up with the future. Can you explain what CSV is? CSV
Comma separated value. I sometimes do something.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. So it's essentially it's a file format on a computer. It can be opened in Excel, Microsoft Office Excel. So you can open up a file from there and it should be fine. Yeah.
I missed the start of it. With the 1 and 2 door controllers, they can be obviously cascaded to increase the amount of doors that you
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
Do you have a program where you can have it PC and web-based for the customer to enter all their details?
Yeah, through the-
cards, names?
So
Yeah.
that would be via the PEL.
Yep.
It's not web-based. That's
Yep.
it. We don't
Yep.
have a web-based IP control board yet.
Yep.
That, as I said, is in development. We've just got the USB-based PEL 1.
Yep.
And so you can use USB to computer, and you can do programming via the computer application.
Okay. But it's not you don't have a mobile app that the customer can...
No.
Looking at a system.
Yeah, so your mobile app access control. Not at this stage. That's actually inside the server.
Not in Presco. We do have it in other products. There's the Pelgate we spoke about. It's got a big brother called the
Omgate.
Omgate. Sorry, yeah.
Which is a GSM gate trigger.
And that's a full on everything, GSM. And yeah. Yep. So obviously those computer. That's why we brought Heath along.
It's really actually, so you guys can get together and have a chat.
I'd hate to be going da. Yeah, but thanks for your attention there. We've got some catalogues there of all the products in there if you'd like to just take one away.